New Haven, Connecticut. This garage door opener was shorted out last night from the rain. When they put the flashing up, you can't see it, but they pitched it all the runoff the far side over here. And guess what's there? An electric motor for the garage door opener. So I'm sure it just filled that box up and shorted out that motor. We got multiple leaks all over the warehouse. It's just dripping right through the cracks in the floor or in the ceiling from the space above us. Again, over here, this one you can actually see it's still wet. That's all a wet spot right there. I'm sure you just seen the drips coming down. It's falling all on their sample racks all over the ground here. This is the water pipe that was supposedly fixed by the landlord, half-ass. I tried to explain to him that it was broken down in the floor, but he was too cheap to fix it properly. As you can see, he just patched it in from there to there. And if you look here, this is actually loose in the ground. You can see it wiggling. It needs to be fixed properly, bottom line. Another wet spot right up there, you can see just raining down into the showroom to warehouse entryway. Again, back here in the warehouse, you can see they've got buckets set up trying to catch everything. This one you can see is just pouring out. You can see the water just pouring out of there. Over there, right above our head here. Again, right there through that crack, leaking on all their product. Still wet over there. Right there is all soaked, so there's got to be just pools of water upstairs in the floor of the space above us. This is New Haven, Connecticut again. The back demising wall. You can see it's leaking there, puddled on the floor. This is another half fix that the landlord performed. He didn't want to spend the money to fix it right. So as you can see, that little form he poured is filled up with water. You can see the shine of the water down in there. It's filled up with water, probably about 3 inches of water in there. In turn, leaking all around the floor. Again, going to the top, water leaking everywhere. I think you get the idea. That's it from New Haven. New Haven, Connecticut again, just so you guys get an idea of how half-assed these people are. This is the flashing that they installed on top of the door to try to keep the water out. And they got to be a total idiot to think that this is going to keep the water out. It ran all the water just ran over here towards the motor. And I'm sure that's the culprit of why it's fried out. This is New Haven, Connecticut. This is above the Lumber Liquidators rented space. As you can see, there's just puddles of water on the floor, which in turn is leaking down into our space below us. Yeah. Soaked up here. And try to get a broom and sweep some of this out of the way so it's not just a standing puddle, and at least that'll help the leak below. This is New Haven, Connecticut. I just spent the last 2 hours squeegeeing the floor. As you can see, it's already starting to dry up. I was able to push the water all the way from our space down into that big puddle over there. The floor's got a big divot over there, so the water will stay there, and that's not in our space. I did what I could. Okay, this is New Haven, Connecticut, Lumber Liquidators. After I squeegeed the floor, we went and bought some Visqueen, laid it down on the floor to try to help catch some of the water. If it pools up in the low spots, at least it won't go down into our showroom and warehouse. I covered the majority of the space and pushed all the water that I could away. So hopefully that's the best we can do. This is New Haven, Connecticut, Lumber Liquidators. We have one sign out front that does work. That is the only sign that's capable of illumination. All the rest of these signs are just canvas banners. One there. There's also one over here on the very end of the building. I drove around the far side of the building. There is no sign over there in reference to Lumber Liquidators. Going over to the side of the building where supposedly we were promised to get gravel, or at least a usable substrate down so we can drive on the side of our building and not get these puddles of water. They have yet to do anything. Real rocky, uneven terrain.